Seniors, by the time you reach 80, you could lose up to half of your muscle mass, and most people don't even realize it's happening. This condition, called sarcopenia, silently creeps in as you age, weakening your body from the inside out. It's not just about muscle loss, it's about losing independence, struggling to get out of a chair, or facing a serious fall. In fact, over 300,000 seniors are hospitalized each year due to falls directly linked to muscle weakness. But here's the good news, it doesn't have to be your story. You can fight back. You can rebuild strength. And it's never too late. In this video, I'll show you 7 simple, science-backed daily habits that can help you regain strength, stability, and confidence, even in your 70s or 80s. And trust me, habit number 5 alone could change everything. So stay with me. Let's get started. Habit number 1, progressive resistance training. Let's start with the most powerful and proven habit to restore muscle strength at any age, and that's progressive resistance training. Now, I know when some people hear the term resistance training, they immediately picture bodybuilders lifting heavy weights in a gym. But that's not what we're talking about here. Resistance training simply means using gentle but consistent resistance to challenge your muscles. And yes, it works wonders, even if you're in your 70s, 80s, or beyond. So what exactly should you do? Start by aiming for 2 to 3 strength training sessions per week. These don't need to be long or intense, just 20 to 30 minutes can make a huge difference. Use whatever equipment you're comfortable with. That might be light dumbbells, resistance bands, or even machines at a local senior-friendly gym. You can also use your own body weight. The key is to target multiple muscle groups using what are called compound movements, exercises like squats, rows, chest presses, or even sit-to-stand exercises from a sturdy chair. These moves engage more than one muscle group at a time, which means better results in less time. One of the most important principles in resistance training is called progressive overload. This simply means that over time, you gradually increase the challenge, either by adding a little more weight, doing a few extra reps, or holding your position for a little longer. This gentle progression is what signals your muscles to grow stronger and more resilient. Now, why is this so important as we age? Well, resistance training is the single most effective way to stimulate muscle growth and repair, a process known as hypertrophy. But it goes far beyond just adding muscle. It also helps to strengthen your bones, improve joint stability, boost your metabolism, and keep your body functioning like it's years younger. Strong muscles also mean better posture, more confidence walking, and significantly less risk of falling. On the flip side, when resistance training is missing from your routine, that's when problems start to pile up. Without regular muscle engagement, we start to experience muscle atrophy, where muscles shrink and weaken over time. This leads to weaker legs, unstable joints, and a much higher risk of falls and fractures. Everyday tasks like climbing stairs, getting in and out of a car, or carrying groceries become more difficult, and before you know it, independence slips away. But here's the encouraging part, even if you haven't trained in years, it's not too late to start. In fact, research shows that older adults can gain strength just as quickly as younger people, as long as they train smart. A major study from the University of Alabama followed seniors in their 70s and beyond who engaged in progressive resistance training. After just 12 weeks, they gained an average of 3.3 pounds of lean muscle and increased their strength by 35%, without changing their diet or adding cardio. That's impressive. And it shows that the human body is capable of incredible change, at any age. So if you want to keep walking tall, feeling confident, and living life on your terms, resistance training is essential. Start simple. Use light weights or bands. Focus on safe form. And most importantly, be consistent. Just 2 sessions per week can dramatically shift the trajectory of your health and independence. Remember, the goal isn't perfection, it's progress. Your body will respond, your strength will return, and your confidence will grow with every rep. You've got this. Habit number 2, optimize protein intake and timing. Let's move on to another habit that's absolutely essential for maintaining muscle strength as you age, and that's getting enough protein, the right way. Now, most people understand that protein is important for building muscle, but what many don't realize is how much timing matters, especially as we get older. As we age, our bodies naturally become less efficient at using the protein we eat to repair and build muscle. This is known as anabolic resistance, and it's one of the big reasons older adults lose muscle, even if they're eating enough food overall. So here's what you need to know. The goal is to get about 25 to 30 grams of high-quality protein with each main meal, not just a big serving at dinner, which is what many people tend to do. Instead, spread your protein evenly across breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Why? Because every time you eat protein, your body enters a state of muscle protein synthesis. That's your body's way of using nutrients to repair and rebuild muscle tissue. But this process only lasts a few hours. If you only get a big protein boost once a day, you're missing 2 more opportunities to build and preserve muscle. Let's break it down even further. At breakfast, instead of just toast or cereal, try something like scrambled eggs, Greek yogurt with seeds and berries, or a protein smoothie. At lunch, you can go for a chicken salad, lentil soup, or a tofu stir-fry. And at dinner, continue the trend with grilled fish, beans, and quinoa, or lean turkey and vegetables. Whether you're eating animal-based or plant-based, the important part is getting enough and spreading it out. So what happens if you skip this habit? Well, over time, your muscles slowly break down faster than they rebuild. Even if you feel like you're eating plenty, your body might not be using that nutrition effectively, especially if most of it comes late in the day. That leads to ongoing muscle loss, slower recovery from everyday movement, and that frustrating feeling of weakness or fatigue, even when you think you're doing everything right. But the good news is, just like with strength training, it's never too late to start doing this right. In fact, a study from the University of Texas found that when older adults distributed their protein evenly across meals, they experienced a 20 to 25% greater muscle-building response than those who ate the same total amount of protein but packed it into 1 or 2 meals. The total protein was the same, but how it was spaced made all the difference. So here's your action step. Look at your typical meals and see where protein might be missing. Most people underconsume it at breakfast, so that's a great place to start. Add some eggs, cottage cheese, a scoop of protein powder, or even leftovers from dinner. Just make sure you're giving your muscles a steady supply of the building blocks they need. This habit, when combined with strength training, can help rebuild muscle, boost your energy, and even support better balance and mobility over time. Remember, it's not about perfection. It's about small, daily improvements that add up in a big way. With just a little planning and a few smart food choices, you can help your muscles stay strong, active, and youthful, meal by meal. Habit number 3, embrace hormetic stressors, cold, heat, fasting, isometrics. Now let's talk about a powerful yet often overlooked way to strengthen your body from the inside out, and that's by embracing hormetic stressors. Now, that word hormetic might sound a bit scientific, but it's really quite simple. Hormesis is a concept in biology where a little bit of stress actually makes your body stronger. Think of it like a vaccine. A small challenge helps your system become more resilient. And when it comes to muscle health and aging, certain mild stressors, done in the right way, can do wonders to slow down aging and even reverse some of its effects. So, what are these good stress habits? Let's walk through 4 of the most effective ones you can easily include in your daily or weekly routine. First, cold exposure. Yes, I know, no one really loves a cold shower. But just 30 to 60 seconds at the end of your regular shower can provide a surprising boost to your system. Cold exposure helps stimulate brown fat, a special type of fat that actually burns calories to keep you warm. But more importantly, it activates adiponectin, a hormone that protects your muscle tissue and encourages mitochondrial growth, the energy engines inside your cells. Next, heat exposure. On the flip side, sauna use, or even a hot bath, provides another valuable form of hormetic stress. When your body is exposed to high heat, it produces heat shock proteins. These proteins help repair damaged muscle cells and prevent protein breakdown. A major study out of Finland showed that people who used the sauna 4 to 7 times a week had 40% less muscle loss over a 10-year period than those who didn't. That's a huge difference, and it's something you can easily build into your weekly routine. Third, intermittent fasting. Also called time-restricted eating, this is another gentle stressor with big benefits. By limiting your daily eating window to about 8 to 10 hours, your body shifts into a cleaning and repair mode called autophagy. During this process, it clears out damaged or worn-out components in your cells, including your muscle cells, and replaces them with new, healthier parts. The Salk Institute found that even without weight loss, this style of eating improved muscle mitochondrial function by 10% in just 12 weeks. That's more energy, better muscle efficiency, and healthier aging, all from simply changing when you eat. And finally, isometric exercises. This involves pushing or pulling against something that doesn't move, like pressing your hands together or pushing against a wall. Do this with maximum effort for just 5 to 10 seconds, and you'll send a strong signal to your muscles that they need to stay strong, without putting stress on your joints. This technique is perfect for older adults because it builds strength while protecting delicate joints like knees and shoulders. Now you might be wondering, what happens if I skip these hormetic stressors? Well, over time, your mitochondria, those little powerhouses in your cells, begin to decline, meaning less energy, more fatigue, and a greater risk of muscle breakdown. You also miss out on those beneficial stress response proteins that protect your muscles and help your body adapt to change. Without these mild challenges, the aging process speeds up, and inflammation, weakness, and low resilience become more common. But here's the empowering part: these practices don't require fancy equipment or major life changes. You can start small, finish your shower with a quick cold burst. Sit in a sauna or hot bath a few times a week. Adjust your eating window by just an hour or two at first. Add a few isometric holds into your day, maybe while waiting for the kettle to boil. These tiny, intentional stressors tell your body, stay strong, stay sharp, stay youthful. And that's exactly the message we want to send. Habit number 4. Balance vitamin D and K2. Let's talk about a vitamin that's often associated with bone health but plays a huge role in keeping your muscles strong, responsive, and coordinated, and that's vitamin D. But here's something many people miss: vitamin D doesn't work alone. To get the full benefits and avoid certain risks, it needs to be paired with another key nutrient, vitamin K2. So, let's start with vitamin D. As you age, your body's natural ability to produce vitamin D from sunlight decreases. By the time you're in your 70s or 80s, your skin produces about 50% less vitamin D than it did in your younger years, even if you're getting the same amount of sun. That's one big reason why over 80% of seniors are deficient in this critical nutrient. Now, why does vitamin D matter for your muscles? Well, it's not just about bones. Vitamin D actually activates genes in your muscle cells that control growth, coordination, and repair. When your vitamin D levels are optimal, your muscles perform better, you'll notice improved strength, better balance, and faster reaction times, all of which are crucial for preventing falls and staying independent. So how do you get enough? The first step is natural sunlight. Try to get about 15 to 20 minutes of sun exposure daily, ideally around midday when the sun is strongest. Expose areas like your arms, legs, or face if possible. But depending on where you live and your skin's ability to absorb sunlight, that may not be enough, especially in winter or if you're indoors most of the day. That's where supplementation comes in. Most older adults need somewhere between 2,000 to 4,000 IU of vitamin D3 per day to maintain healthy levels, though it's always best to check your blood levels with a simple test. This range is well above the outdated recommendation of 600 IU, which often falls short for seniors. But here's the part that gets overlooked. Vitamin D increases calcium absorption, which is great for your bones, but without the right balance, that calcium can end up in your arteries instead of your bones, and that's where vitamin K2 becomes essential. Vitamin K2 acts like a traffic director for calcium. It makes sure that calcium is sent to the bones where it belongs and prevents it from building up in your arteries, which could increase your risk of heart disease. The best form of vitamin K2 for this purpose is -7 Malawian kwaches, which you can get from fermented foods like natto, aged cheeses, or supplements. Even just a small amount can make a significant difference in where your calcium ends up, and ultimately in your heart and muscle health. Now, if you're not getting enough of these two nutrients, your body starts to show the signs. You might feel chronically tired, experience muscle aches or cramps, and notice that your balance is off. Maybe you stumble more often or feel less steady on your feet. Long-term deficiency can even lead to osteoporosis, increased fall risk, and higher chances of fractures. And get this, a major study published in JAMA Internal Medicine found that seniors with optimal vitamin D levels had 25% more muscle strength compared to those who were deficient. They also had significantly better balance and coordination. So here's your action step. Get your vitamin D levels checked, aim for 40 to 60 nanograms per milliliter, and if needed, begin supplementing with D3 along with K2, -7 Malawian kwaches. Also, enjoy vitamin D-rich foods like fatty fish, egg yolks, and fortified dairy, and add in fermented foods or K2 supplements for that crucial balance. Together, these two nutrients form a powerhouse team, one that helps your muscles stay strong and your bones stay solid, all while protecting your heart. It's simple, safe, and incredibly effective, a small habit that can lead to major improvements in your strength and stability as you age. Habit number 5, boost essential micronutrients. Now let's talk about one of the most underrated pieces of the muscle health puzzle, and that's micronutrients. While most people focus on macronutrients like protein, carbs, and fats, the real magic often happens at the microscopic level, with vitamins, minerals, and specific compounds your muscles rely on every single day. Here's the truth, even if you're exercising regularly and eating what seems like a balanced diet, your muscles may still struggle to grow or stay strong, all because you're low on certain key micronutrients. So let's break down a few of the most important ones and what you can do to make sure you're getting enough. First up is magnesium, often called the forgotten electrolyte. Magnesium is involved in over 300 biochemical reactions in your body, many of which relate directly to muscle function and energy production. It helps regulate muscle contractions, prevents cramping, and supports ATP production. That's your body's main energy source. Unfortunately, more than 70% of seniors are deficient in magnesium, often due to medications, digestion changes, or poor dietary intake. To increase your levels, include leafy greens like spinach, pumpkin seeds, almonds, and consider a quality supplement if needed. Next is a supplement that's often associated with athletes and bodybuilders but is actually a powerful ally for seniors too, and that's creatine. Creatine helps supply energy to your muscles, especially during strength-based movements. It also helps retain water in muscle cells, creating a more anabolic, or muscle-building, environment. But here's what's especially interesting, research shows that creatine doesn't just benefit your body, it also improves brain function, particularly in older adults. A study from McMaster University showed that seniors who supplemented with 3 to 5 grams of creatine per day, alongside resistance training, experienced significant gains in both muscle strength and cognitive performance. That's a win-win. Now let's talk about vitamin B12, specifically the methylated form, which is better absorbed and utilized by your body. B12 plays a major role in nerve function, red blood cell production, and the transmission of signals between your brain and muscles. If your B12 is low, and it often is in people over 60, you may experience muscle weakness, numbness, or tingling, especially in the hands and feet. Include foods like fish, eggs, and dairy, or consider a methylated B12 supplement to fill in the gaps. Then we have trace minerals, small but mighty elements that are essential for preserving muscle mass and strength. Let's focus on 3 key ones: zinc, selenium, and chromium. These minerals support everything from protein synthesis to insulin sensitivity, which helps shuttle nutrients into your muscle cells after you eat. Zinc also supports immune health, while selenium is a powerful antioxidant that protects muscle tissues from damage. Chromium helps regulate blood sugar and supports energy levels. You'll find these nutrients in foods like seafood, nuts, seeds, eggs, and whole grains, but many older adults still fall short. A study from Tufts University revealed that seniors who maintained adequate levels of these trace minerals were able to preserve up to 22% more muscle mass compared to those who were deficient, and that's with no change in exercise or protein intake. So what happens if you ignore these micronutrients? You may start to notice weakness, even when you're eating well and staying active. You might feel fatigued, experience muscle cramps or spasms, or deal with numbness in your extremities. And over time, your muscles simply don't respond the way they should, which can be frustrating when you're doing everything else right. The good news? A few smart changes can make all the difference. Add magnesium-rich greens to your meals, consider a daily creatine supplement, boost your B12, and don't forget those trace minerals from whole, nutrient-dense foods. Together, these micronutrients work behind the scenes to keep your muscles firing, your energy high, and your body strong, no matter your age. Habit number 6, strengthen neuromuscular connections. When we think about staying strong and active as we age, we often focus on muscles, but there's a silent partner that's just as important: your nervous system. Specifically, the connection between your brain and your muscles, known as the neuromuscular junction. These are like tiny communication lines that send messages from your brain to your body, telling your muscles when and how to move. But here's the thing, just like muscles, these connections weaken with age, especially after 60. And when they decline, even strong muscles can become slow to react, clumsy, or uncoordinated. That's why this next habit, strengthening neuromuscular connections, is absolutely critical for maintaining balance, preventing falls, and keeping your body agile and responsive. Let's start with one of the most enjoyable ways to support this connection: movement that challenges your coordination. Activities like Tai Chi, ping pong, or dancing aren't just fun, they force your brain and muscles to work together in real time. These types of exercises demand precise movements, changes in direction, balance, rhythm, and quick decision-making, all of which stimulate your neuromuscular pathways. Studies show that these dynamic movements are actually more effective at preserving motor control than simple walking or standard strength exercises. In fact, a study published in the Journal of Physiology found that adults over 70 who engaged in mind-muscle coordination training significantly improved mobility, balance, and walking speed, more so than those who just followed a traditional exercise routine. The key is that you're not just moving, you're thinking and reacting while you move, which strengthens that brain-to-muscle communication loop. Now, aside from movement, there are a few targeted nutrients that can give your neuromuscular system an extra boost. and one of the most important is vitamin B1, especially in its bioavailable form called benfotiamine. This vitamin plays a critical role in producing acetylcholine, which is the main chemical messenger that helps activate your muscles. Think of acetylcholine as the on switch for your muscles. Without enough of it, those switches start to misfire, resulting in muscle twitching, delayed responses, and even neuromuscular weakness. You can find vitamin B1 in foods like whole grains, pork, legumes, and seeds, but as we age, our ability to absorb and convert B1 drops. That's why supplementing with benfotiamine, a form your body can use more effectively, is often a smart choice for seniors looking to maintain reaction speed and muscle control. Another surprisingly powerful way to support your neuromuscular system is through controlled breathing, specifically, a technique called box breathing. It's simple: you inhale for 4 seconds, hold for 4, exhale for 4, and hold again for 4. This method helps stimulate the vagus nerve, a key nerve that influences everything from your digestion to your nervous system balance. Regular practice not only calms your mind, but it also enhances focus, coordination, and muscle readiness. It's a great habit to practice before a workout or when you're feeling tense or sluggish. Now, what happens if these neuromuscular habits are missing? Well, you may notice poor coordination, more frequent stumbles, or difficulty with tasks that require precision, like buttoning a shirt or catching yourself if you trip. You might feel like your body doesn't respond as quickly as your mind, and that lag can put you at greater risk for falls, injury, or immobility. The bottom line is this: it's not just about building strong muscles, it's about keeping the lines of communication between your brain and body sharp and responsive. And the good news? You can strengthen those connections with just a few simple changes: coordinated movement, smart supplementation, and mindful breathing. These habits don't just improve your muscle function, they restore confidence, quickness, and control in your day-to-day life. And that's what staying strong over 60 is really all about. Habit number 7, control chronic inflammation, inflammaging. Let's talk about something that often goes completely unnoticed, yet silently chips away at your strength and vitality every single day, and that's chronic inflammation, especially the kind that comes with aging. Scientists even have a name for it: inflammaging. Now, inflammation isn't always bad. When you cut your finger or catch a cold, inflammation is your body's way of healing and fighting off threats. But when it sticks around for too long, especially at low levels, it becomes a constant stressor on your body. And for older adults, this low-grade inflammation becomes one of the biggest drivers of muscle loss, joint pain, and overall decline in mobility. In fact, a major study from Tufts University found that seniors with high levels of inflammation lost muscle mass 3 times faster than those with low inflammation, regardless of how much they exercised or how much protein they consumed. That means even if you're doing everything else right, inflammation can still sabotage your progress behind the scenes. So, how do we fight back? Let's start with one of the most underrated and powerful tools you have: quality sleep. Getting 7 to 8 hours of uninterrupted sleep in a completely dark and quiet room allows your body to enter deep recovery mode. During sleep, your body reduces inflammatory signals and ramps up repair processes, including muscle tissue repair. On the flip side, poor sleep can increase inflammatory markers by as much as 40%, weakening your immune system and making recovery from physical activity much harder. Next, let's look at what's on your plate. A key strategy for controlling inflammation is eating a wide variety of colorful, plant-based foods. Aim for at least 30 different plant foods each week. That includes vegetables, fruits, whole grains, beans, nuts, seeds, herbs, and spices. Why 30? Because it helps feed your gut microbiome, the trillions of bacteria in your gut that influence everything from digestion to immune response. A healthy gut means less systemic inflammation and better nutrient absorption, both of which are essential for maintaining strong, healthy muscles. You'll also want to include fermented foods like yogurt, kefir, sauerkraut, kimchi, or miso. These are packed with probiotics that support gut health and lower inflammation naturally.